8:12 p.m. Tuesday, January 15th, 2019, episode number 696 of Yeah Dude. My name is Jonathan. This is Seth. Hello, Seth.
Face to face, eye to eye.
Yes. I'm feeling a little under the weather, so we're switching it up so that that I can just sit back and just allow my
body to heal.
I
was so high energy in 695 that I wanted to bring it down.
You're so major.
This is episode 696 of Yeah Dude, America Through the Eyes of Two American Americans. I have, in various episodes, sat down, usually when we do a thematic episode. This episode,
a sit-down episode.
This episode of Yeah Dude, we're going to look at some various Ask Amy's.
Queries.
Advice
questions. Queries.
Yeah. I think that's an appropriate way to...
I've been considering a secondary career in professional advising.
In the advising arts.
In the arts of it, the advising arts, advisingment. This is maybe good practice.
I'll start with one I wanted to read.
Wish I could lie down or sit cross-legged.
That would be awesome.
Just to keep me grounded.
If you laid down like I was a shrink.
I was in therapy.
We should do that. We should do a mock therapy
So I do
session.
therapy. I'm the therapist, but I lie down.
The hunter has become the hunted. Dear Jonathan, my wife and I adopted a brother and sister from Ethiopia in 2011. We were a Caucasian family of 4, and the addition of 2 African children blended nicely. There have been no real behavioral or attachment issues with our Ethiopian children. Skin color has never been an issue for us, and living in California, our blended family has not been an issue with anyone. My son is now 15 and really enjoys rap music. I have a huge issue with the majority of the lyrics, which are most often filled with words that are demeaning to women and are explicit, sexual, and sometimes downright pornographic. I have spoken to my son about how these songs are disrespectful to women and how these kind of lyrics can desensitize him. Nobody in our family has ever listened to rap music, but he has connected with it because of his ethnicity. Our family does not use this type of language, so I am surprised these lyrics are something he would choose to sing along with. I don't want him to think I'm an out-of-touch dad. How could that happen? I want him to understand there are better choices in music.
Wow, So I've made him this mixtape.
So I made him a mix of various artists.
This is what my advice is going to be, so go ahead.
Suggestions? You make him a dope mixtape.
Make him a great mixtape. That'll win him over.
With all
You'll
the
never
greats.
listen to that rap again.
Are you kidding me?
Once you turn him on to fucking, some Steely Dan. Once he hears the Dan, he's going to be like
hits.
Fucking Tekashi 6. Ooh?
Kidding me? You are an out-of-touch dad. I just want to... I'll kick this one off
real easy.
With what she says.
You are an out-of-touch dad.
You are an out-of-touch dad, and it's okay. Hitch up your Dockers and own it. Terrible advice, I think, but this is... Please, even though they are your children, do not ignore or deny your kids' race and ethnicity. Even if you live in a multi-ethnic area, they are made aware of their racial identity in little and large ways every day. And at 15, it is completely appropriate for your son to explore his racial identity. He may, quote, code switch, jumping between identities, a young man of color and as a member of a majority white family. For music with beat, poetry, and anger, but none of the misogynist violence, check out the work of Chicago artist Common. Paid money. This is advice. This woman makes money doing this. Can I suggest
just play him Common?
Play Common.
Not even chants.
Common. Be honest with your son about Common, and also ask him to describe the...
Show him that Microsoft,
show
Surface
him,
video
that fucking Cortani or Sortani. Yo, rise up, children, minds, out of negativity, up into positivity. I like this, Papa. Be honest with your son and also ask him to describe the appeal of the music he likes. Well, it doesn't suck like Common.
Yeah, it's ratchet. It's fucking.
Share your unvarnished views about the lyrics, and don't tell him that you don't want that language broadcast in the house, but don't police this too closely. When he says he just likes the music, believe him. Nobody in our family has ever listened to rap music, but he is connected with it because of his ethnicity.
Well, and she says
so,
that
like, right
too.
there,
I think
like,
you're
you guys
already
are-
off base.
Guys, what are you talking
He's 15 years old.
Yeah, he's
There is no
15-year-old living in the United States
every
in 2019.
15-year-old you see, like
No, Jonathan,
anywhere in the world.
It's just African American kids.
It's like it is all that exists.
It's the only thing that exists.
So, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
so you're
I mean, he only likes this music because he's from Ethiopia.
Ethiopian. Due
Dad,
to the fact that he's Ethiopian and he's a teenager, he's found rap music and is trying to identify with it.
he loves Future. I don't know what to do.
I wonder
Amy.
how old
Amy is.
the white kids are. And you're telling me that those white kids never
Don't
got
listen?
into rap?
Yeah,
So this is like a fucked up weird like Christian family
I'm assuming
in
this
LA?
it's in California.
Did he say?
I'm saying this is a Christian family in Palos Verdes.
I don't know. I mean, I would start with the Steely Dan Common mixtape.
You got to start with that.
Just try to find something that really taps into the rhythms that he's responding to. You know, due to his Africanness,
His
Ethiopianness.
Ethiopianness.
Get some Ethiopian rhythms going, and then maybe some like positive spoken word over that. You know,
who else are there? Are there other who else like common like artists? That doesn't exist anymore? I don't think.
I mean,
in music,
if it does, but you can't like.
It's probably
It's only for like
underground,
like me, and like it's only for like old people. It's like slam and shit. It's like nobody's like still slamming.
But I mean, Common doesn't exist as a musical artist. He's an actor. So
I mean, he
she's
does
referring
commercials.
she's referring to the actor Common.
Well, I mean, if that's what I was saying is like. For her to be like, yeah, you're not hip. Try playing him Common is just like you all need to jump off a building.
So you just told him to put on Dockers and play him Common, and then that'll solve it.
But I mean, there's nothing you can do.
Oh,
other than be like
thankful that your son is assimilated into
yeah,
American
and like
culture.
be like, all right, who's the hottest in the game right now? You know, like find out. Get in on this.
Go to Genius, memorize those lyrics, and take your son to that concert.
Pretty much.
Basically.
You have
to move to Houston and live next to Travis Scott.
Who's spitting the most heat right now?
Who spits the most heat, son? That's what I need to know.
You got to put me up on game. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. Like it's
son, they're called De La Soul. When I was a young man,
it's like.
It's tough.
It's tough.
It's best to... Yeah, you need to...
It's just... I don't understand. That, to me, sounds dangerous because it sounds to me as though... That's what I mean. You've adopted 2 kids from Ethiopia and you are far enough off base to think that he's listening to rap is because he's trying to identify with his African
heritage.
Like that is like you are like not equipped for this job that you've taken on.
That you've taken on for Jesus. Not equipped.
That's what we're.
And then her working, I believe, the Chicago Tribune, not equipped to give advice anymore.
No. So
well, I've got this. Strap on those Dockers.
Play him some Common.
Play him some Common. You're welcome. Family solved. Dear Amy, I'm going to do well, I guess this is also her answer. I think that
is the problem.
We need to, well, it's part of this. Let's solve this equation. And I come to you on this. Jonathan, I think I'm a caring and sensitive man who respects women and appreciates the Me Too movement. But a recent experience has me disturbed. I seek objective feedback. One recent evening, I was with a woman that I know well. We had drinks before, during, and after dinner. She became quite intoxicated and needed to go to bed to sleep it off. I helped her up the stairs to the bathroom. After a few minutes, when I heard the bathroom door open, I came back upstairs to check on her. She was naked. and she made strong sexual advances toward me. I knew that the right thing to do was to help her dress and into bed for sleep, then go about my own business.
But I smashed.
But I was weak. Partly due to my strong attraction to her, we engaged in sexual activity, and during the acts, I believe there was a possibility that the next day she would not remember. Yet I continued, and for this I'm feeling remorseful. Have I committed date rape? Am I a sexual predator? And finally, Jonathan and Amy, does it matter that this woman is my wife of 25 years?
Whoa, wait a second.
Does that... let me... a little piece of information. This is also my wife of 25 years.
Who I'm madly attracted to.
Who I'm strongly sexually attracted to after we've been married for 5. We were engaged for 6. Smash him for 31. I love this woman. Hold on.
I think he should turn himself in.
I hope this didn't really happen. I'm assuming instead that your question might be a disingenuous and rude little riddle designed to trip up an unsuspecting reader. However, you asked for an objective opinion. Well, here's mine. Let's establish at the outset that no, you are not a caring and sensitive man, and no, you do not respect the Me Too movement. That much is quite obvious. Taking the scenario you describe at face value, yes, you sexually assaulted your wife. She was drunk, you were sober.
Well, he didn't say that. He said we had drinks before, during, and after.
She wasn't able to consent to sex. So no, you did not commit date rape. However, you did commit marital rape.
Also the name of my black metal band.
Marital rape.
Marital rape.
Playing in Oslo, Stockholm. You pursued an incapacitated woman for the purpose of having sex with her. And yes, sir, this makes you a sexual predator. Is that good advice?
That's not advice.
Or just, is that nice comments? Explain that to me.
Well,
888-842-2357.
Is she right? Is this like a fishing thing where he's like, it's like a joke? Like, it's like, oh, like, answer this one. Riddle me this, Me Too movement.
Go.
Like, what about this?
Oh, you think
that's what I mean, she's obviously saying, like,
thinks
it's fake. It's like a made up scenario.
Okay. She's very serious about that. He's a rapist.
A marital rapist.
Which
is not, there's no joking. That's no joke.
At all.
No,
so no joke
about
your band, which is a great band. Not a joke.
Not a joke. But in this particular instance, it sounds to me like...
let's take that scenario at face value. I've never been married. Married couples, I assume that there's intercourse. I don't know. 888-842-2357. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I would like to think that a husband and wife come to a certain agreement at some point that he doesn't have to, or she doesn't. They don't have to have an out loud verbal conversation every time before they, consummate the marriage or whatever. Like, is this okay that we do it this time? I know we've done it 1,300 other times in the last 6 months, but I just need to make sure that all aside.
Okay.
Being drunk and incapacitated,
she was drunk and you were sober. Well, I was
drunk too, and I'm crazy. I've got a raging boner for my wife, who I've been married to for 30 years,
31 years.
That's where the whole story gets a little fishy. This whole scenario gets.
Had sex with this woman over 13,000 times.
I've asked her every time if it was okay.
Every time I got I got to send an email and a text.
Electronic signature.
We have a little board with a Sharpie, and there's this. But again, that's not nothing to laugh about.
Nothing. If it's real, none of it's nothing about it's
need
funny.
To know what the sexual politics between a married man and woman are. I think that her comments, they're rather direct. Amy's, they seem slightly, possibly off base. I don't know. Again.
Well, off base, she's misinformed and is assuming things about him that he made clear in the thing. If everything happened the way that it happened, and the man
it's all we can know. We have to just.
Well, I mean, I
can't start
obviously if that's the truth, then yes, you have to approach your wife about it and be like, I need to talk to you about something. Like that night, last night when we were knocking,
you were shadracked.
You were shadracked and like you put the moves on me.
When you came out of the bathroom and you were nude and you were like,
give me upside down peace signs, and
Yeah.
you know,
You're like, I'm gonna fuck you.
we
And
smashed.
You slapped my face and said, I'm gonna fuck you.
You slapped me around, and you gotta. If you're having issues, you gotta take it to her and be like, how do you feel about this? Did I do something I shouldn't have done?
When you slapped my face and demanded, you said you were gonna fuck me.
Should I turn myself in?
Should I go to the police and just tell our kids that their father has to go away? Children, I love your mother very much.
But the other night,
after
we got back from,
remember when we came back from the recital and we all went to dinner and we had drinks? Your mother slapped my face and fucked me. Your father's going to prison for 20 years. I love you, children. Yeah, I got to know. Got to call in and 888-842-2357. What's the protocol on that?
Well, like you're saying,
In couples, I sometimes, you know, what's the level of, do partners have sex at 100% levels every time of?
No, what we're talking about here is, you know, him being worried about her not being fully aware, having her wits about her, being conscious enough or cognitive about what's happening, but wanting to have sex with someone who has willingly had sex with you in the past and has also married you. But I mean, let's not even talk about that. But versus the question of whether or not somebody is doing something possibly against their will, and that they don't have the means to verbalize or explain the fact that they don't want to do that.
Yeah, that they're not giving consent or that they're willing.
Yeah, you know, and like
that's a good point. Who does the wife thing? Where does that come into?
And that's a huge thing because, like you're saying,
if this was a first date, that's probably different.
It would be different. However, you do get into a murky area of like, wait, just because I'm married to you doesn't mean that you have the right to fucking bone down on me anytime you fucking want when I'm like
totally
blacked out because I had to drink myself to sleep because I hate
can't
you so
look
much.
at you because
So it does get into a murky area. However, in this particular scenario, and the way that it's
the way he has presented
it, I don't know if exactly. I don't think he should feel a complete and utter concern for some massive violation. However, maybe some clarification is necessary between he and his wife.
Okay,
I would hope, and I hope if people feel otherwise that maybe they tell me. Although, you know,
communication is the key.
I'm saying like via the voicemail, like be like, no, you're off. Like 100%. He shouldn't have done it. Like he should have left her naked,
downstairs.
asleep in the bathroom. You know, sleeping on the tile floor, and he should have slept on the couch.
Put a weighted blanket on her, gone down, jerked off, and then turned himself in anyway for something else. That's what I mean. So lucky that we get to have this. That we have that voicemail, which I think some people they laugh at these newfangled podcasts because they don't understand it. But for us, after coming up on 13 years, it's like the idea that we get to. It's not a. We're not just talking into the wind. We get to have a conversation,
and yet we don't have to like take calls or like play voicemails on the show.
Yeah.
But it is a place that. I mean, obviously, there's other places that I get that feedback via,
of course,
you know, social media or emails and stuff. But that the voicemails is a place people are listening to the show and like pausing it and calling and being like, "No,
Jonathan, leave me alone. I'm too drunk.
Jonathan, I told you,
I'm drunk.
I'm drunk. I'm calling you right now to tell you
I'm drunk."
Again, no laughing matter. If somebody was put in a position that they shouldn't have been. Or that they wouldn't want to have been otherwise, it just doesn't seem to me. Amy is like, I don't know what the fuck this woman's problem is though. Like I don't think I've ever heard
advice?
Single piece of advice. I mean, you sometimes don't read them because you're like, it doesn't matter.
It does.
Sometimes you read me them and I'm like, no, this is like a crazy job to have.
Essentially, she's asked a man to turn himself in to spend the rest of his life in prison and told another father to make a common mixtape for his Ethiopian adopted teenage son. Who
loves Chief Keef.
Yeah. So you're maybe not equipped for this anymore? Who knows? I don't know. Amy, when I was 16, our family had a foreign student come live with us on a summer exchange program. He was also 16.
Sounding steamy already.
It does sound quite steamy. Is that okay? That's underage. Can we talk about how steamy it is? It's steamy. He wanted to stay beyond his visa, so my parents arranged to take legal guardianship of him.
Oh, wow.
It was stressful having him move into our family. My mom and I constantly fought about his presence in our home. 6 months following the guardianship, my dad moved out and my parents divorced. Eventually, my siblings and I all grew up and all left home, except the boy.
Oh, boy.
Who lived at home with our mother until he was 24.
Banging my mom.
The now adult guy recently contacted me over Facebook to apologize for, quote, ruining my family.
Sorry I banged your mom for so many years.
Sorry on
I
that
was
visa.
16. I needed that young visa.
I mean, you thought it was going to be steamy, me and you. You guys were wrong.
Who knew?
Disclosing that he was my mother's boyfriend during his time with our family. In shock, I called my mother and she insisted this relationship was consensual and that the relationship occurred, quote, only after the guardianship had ended when he had turned 18.
That's a lie.
Total fucking lie. No way with that taut body, that foreign exchange body. Those
The
Russian
French
bodies.
Moroccan body?
Yeah. Oh, I'm French Moroccan. It's a taut swimmer's body. She couldn't hold on for 2 years. Not a chance.
If the dad was already ghosted.
Already out of the picture. Come on.
Dad might have ghosted for that exact reason.
That's a French Moroccan swimmer taut body. Come on. I feel shocked, hurt, betrayed, oscillating between considering that my mom is a child predator to realizing that she must have had strong feelings for him to choose him over me and our family.
Oh, boy.
My mom and I used to talk once a week. I haven't spoken to her in 6 months. Do you have any advice for me on how to move forward?
I think you should bang him.
Bang him? And what will that, just to get back at the mom?
I mean, don't you think?
You think that she should bang him? You still swimming? You still swim?
You still taught?
Are you taught?
What is the question?
The question is,
what do I do?
Yeah, what's your advice, Jonathan? How do I move forward? Well, get over it. It's done.
I mean,
a 16-year-old came to your house. Your mom instantly, probably within a week, fucked him. Remember that day, like the second week he was there and you guys all went to school and he said he had a cold? It's weird. The American air is different for this taut Moroccan French lungs. Oh. I mean, unbelievable. Fucked this 16-year-old. Fucked him when he was 16. Fucked him when he was 17. Fucked him when he was 24. That was all good then. They straight fucked. Ruined the family. Father out. Siblings didn't know.
Well, what did the father have to... Why did he apologize for ruining the family? Well, because it caused weird problems.
I mean, her parents got divorced.
But the divorce maybe was going to happen or already was happening before he came around.
No,
You think he
not
came in...
Not till he came home from work early.
And saw, like, I can't believe you're fucking the foreign exchange student.
You're fucking him. I'm shocked.
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving you. We won't say anything to the kids.
Because it would be too traumatic.
It's too traumatic. They'll find out later because there'll be a thing called Facebook. All the truth's going to come out.
Be a thing called a podcast. And these two guys
they'll tell us about it.
They're going to riff on it.
Riff on our trauma, our family trauma.
Don't worry. In 20 years.
Don't worry about
these two guys are going to riff on this family trauma.
There's going to be a newfangled media. They'll riff on this trauma. Everyone will know. It's fine.
So.
There's nothing you can do. Your mom's a sexual predator. That I can say.
That
you
can
straight
say
up.
Pretty much, despite
your mom's a child rapist. You should tell her
consensual nature. Despite the
turn yourself in. Your mom should turn herself in. That's first and foremost.
I think you need to talk. Maybe confront your mother on the fact that, despite the fact that you think that this was, or despite your claims that this was a consensual sexual relationship, it was of a predatory nature.
We have laws in this country.
Your role in this was of a predatory nature. You are also claiming that nothing you did was illegal. However, I
beg to differ, Mother.
I beg to differ. The other thing is, you could also say, if this guy has reached out to apologize, you could be like, you need to tell me you need to tell me your version of the story, and I need to try to assess what actually went down. Was she fucking you when you were 16 years old? Because that's really,
I want to know that.
That's really fucked up.
Did you fuck on your 18th birthday, or was it that time you said you had the sniffles and we all went to school?
So, but at the same time, It ain't your fucking life.
It's not.
It ain't your life, bitch.
Not anymore.
You want to talk to your mom?
Talk to her.
Then figure it out. You're gonna have to keep talking to her. Do you want to fucking disown her for it? Then disown her for it.
You're an adult. It's up to you.
You're out.
You got to go to him though, and you got to get details from him. Do you think he's gonna give the details? I bet he will. He's so proud of himself. Writing letters back home. You'll never believe what happens in America. Wisconsin's a crazy place, y'all. Let me tell you what happens here.
I just assumed there was going to be
huge.
like some like
there's so many rooms
affair,
to fuck in this house.
He stayed. We became brothers. It kind of felt weird because now we're in a family.
I didn't know they were together. We fell in love. Now I'm engaged. We're engaged to be married, and I just found out
he's been fucking my
from
mom.
From 16 to 24, he was fucking my mom. Now what do I do? I mean, it's writing itself. Lifetime movie, writing itself. They're engaged to be married, and he says, Erica, there's one thing I've been keeping from you that I have to tell you. From when I got to the home until I turned 24.
You remember my taut body when I first got here?
Do you remember how I loved to swim and write letters home about these huge American homes? And how much fucking clutter and garbage you have in them. If only I could imagine that some tiny Japanese woman would come along and fucking rescue you garbage people from all your shit.
I don't know. I would be like...
It's curious information.
Well, also, she kind of brushes over how somebody comes for like 6 months and all of a sudden the family is like totally, whatever family came from is totally destroyed. Okay with just like, I'm saying that, you came for a foreign exchange program and then somehow,
what do you usually that's like,
stay forever.
That's not like, better off dead. It's like really quick. I mean,
but the family back in Europe would just be like,
give me my top body back.
Like, go on. Like, what do you mean he didn't want to go? She must have really manipulated that situation, or they did together. So that to me is a little fucked up because it didn't just destroy maybe one family; it probably destroyed two families. Let's talk
about this
French Moroccan
family that was devastated. It's amazing. It's a butterfly effect, really. Oh, wow. What do we have here? I am a divorced mother of one child. My boyfriend's a divorced father of two. We're both in our 40s. My boyfriend has been divorced for 5 years after his wife left him. It was a toxic situation and continues to be so. His mother continues to keep dozens of photos of his ex all over her house, some with the ex-wife by herself and some with my boyfriend when they were married. The only time I spent the night at his mom's house over a holiday, my boyfriend told me that he was embarrassed and he's sorry for all the pictures. We slept in the spare room under a giant photograph of him and his ex, holding hands and running across the finish line of a race. We did it! I love you. I love running with you. You're my favorite. You're my partner in life. You're my partner in running.
You're my teammate and my...
I love you.
In love.
I love you. Do this gel packet. I love you. My boyfriend was quite embarrassed. His mom has no relationship with the ex. I assumed he would speak to his mother, but he hasn't. The photos are all still there, and he doesn't invite me to visit her home as often. He and I have been together for 4 years, and my relationship with his mom is lovely, if not particularly close. I'm guessing this kind of a thing just doesn't register as a big deal to many, but I find it very thoughtless. What's your perspective? So she goes to the house. It's filthy with photographs of him and his ex-wife. Everywhere you look. She went into the bathroom. There's pictures of the ex-wife just in the bathroom.
I don't quite understand why there's so many pictures of her by herself.
Because the mom adores her.
No, because she doesn't have a relationship with her now that they're broken up. And she has a good relationship with the girlfriend. So my feeling would be that this would be strictly about purely an image thing that everyone, all of her weird fucking churchy ass, whoever the fuck, old ass fucking friends that come in all know that he's married and he had a wife and kids. And
so she wants to keep up
that facade
because of her church friends.
She doesn't want to fucking.
He's gonna run it. He always blames He blames Jesus for every. Yeah. Why does he always blame Jesus and all of his?
I know I'm not blaming Jesus. It's an image thing.
It's an image. She doesn't
want to be like.
But why isn't she? take all those down and replace all of them with,
because that's a then it's
an abomination.
Proof that you have a failed marriage, and now
it's
you're
a sin.
now your son is
the eyes of God. You're going to hell. You fucking sin.
This harlot,
this fucking hussy, this divorced,
this other divorcee, this wench.
You all go to hell.
This hussy wench.
Unbelievable.
You keep up the facade. You keep up appearances. Somebody hasn't been told.
Somebody hasn't been told.
I guarantee you.
Is it possible that the mom, although she has no relationship with the ex-wife because the ex-wife moved out of state and has moved on, she's obsessed with the ex-wife?
I don't think
the obsession is of a Lifetime movie.
But the pictures, like holding hands over the bed and stuff, like who puts that many pictures of their grown children?
Someone that's obsessed with the ex-wife.
It's supposed to be pictures of your grandchildren and stuff like that, but not. That's what it is. She's
her.
Having an affair with. Having an affair with.
Emotional at the very least. Loves her, and the fact that she doesn't she's not in her life anymore because she's moved, it kills her. So the only way to fill that hole is to everywhere you look in the house, there's a picture of her.
But then how could that person have a solid, close relationship with your son's
She doesn't. She's just making it because she's so hurt.
She just makes it up.
Everywhere you go. Like, why in your caravan is there a picture of her? Because I loved her.
I loved her. I wish you were her.
I wish you were her. You're not. So I remind myself on the reg. How's hell?
Seems to
That's
me
where you're going.
It seems to me maybe there's a...
Why are there so many pictures?
It's a lot.
Like you said, it could be it could be anybody, family members, old black and whites. In fact, if you really look.
But what she says at the end, I suppose it's maybe this isn't a big thing to people. That's not true. There's no way that it's just like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
let me take down this enormous fucking picture.
So weird. There are 15 photos on the mantle.
There's
of
something.
Amy. Look, there's Amy when she was a little kid. There's baby pictures of Amy. Look, this is Amy. This is her first communion. That's Amy in 8th grade. That's Amy in junior year of high school, senior year of high school, freshman year of college, sophomore year of college. So I didn't even notice that. God, there's a lot of pictures of Amy here. I never noticed that. Weird.
Anyway,
They're not going anywhere. Hell is a place, and you might go.
I'm not blaming the church.
Jonathan, I'm a 20-year-old gay man in college. I am open about my sexual orientation, but I feel like the odds are stacked against me in the dating world. I can't afford dating sites.
They don't cost anything.
No, they're absolutely free.
Okay.
And going to clubs/bars when I turn 21, actually don't have to, is not really my thing. So I have a feeling that the people I would meet there are people who wouldn't share my interests.
Which are?
I think this poor young man. No idea how good that this young man has it, and we're going to help him. But it's hard to find out. But it's hard to find gay guys wherever. Is this guy okay?
Where is this?
He doesn't say where he is. I mean,
maybe it is hard.
I don't need a relationship, but I want one, and I feel like that's not even an option. Signed out, but not about. Really, a college, gay man in college sounds like right there. That's a high five to this young man. Should probably be maybe I'm wrong. I would imagine pretty amazing, easy time to meet these people.
I think that might be a little presumptuous of you.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Right now?
What do you mean right now?
In February of 2019, a college student?
Meeting people can just be difficult. If you're not socially prone or outgoing, it can be very difficult to make friends, much less make romantic connections, I would say.
Okay. Even a homosexual man?
That's what I mean by the presumptuous part.
I would think that would be that
your presumption is that it would be easier to hook up and have casual sex, but that's not necessarily what this person is looking for.
My presumption would be to meet people similar would be, maybe I'm only thinking it from like maybe he lives, I'm thinking of it like live in Los Angeles. Maybe
another reason I asked.
Maybe he could be like
saying it's not easy
at a college in Nebraska and maybe there's no gay bars or something. Again, his idea that he can't get into this gay bar not being 21, that maybe I'm being presumptuous on that. I would think that
he could just be a law-abiding citizen.
He's
a stay-at-home, law-abiding, stay-at-home gay.
I will not break this. This establishment is for people by calendar date. I mean, 21
it just
sounds
and older.
To
me like it's like you just assume that it's like everyone's looking for like, like hot pants and fucking body shots.
I would think that in an age group of college, be it however you identify sexually or gender-wise, if you wanted to meet, maybe it is just a matter of being, I would think as a young gay man who thinks you have to pay for sites, I would imagine that someone could pull him aside, an older gay man or maybe an older straight man who's like 45 and say, it's called Scruff or Jacked and it's free. Go fuck if you want. But what are you talking about paying sites?
Again, you're talking about somebody who I don't think necessarily is looking for like fucking like
beautiful hot gay sex. You think
maybe it's a little he wants sordid or a little maybe that's a little scary.
It's too much for him.
I mean, that could be
a more
very
simple,
intense,
old-timey meet and greet.
I mean, honest to God, Seth. I mean, if you think about it, the amount of confidence that it would require in this day and age to meet strangers in public places in order to just assess that they don't have weapons on their body at that time and then go have sex with them. I mean, it's asking an awful lot.
Well, how about not have sex with them? Just meet them. Don't people do that?
But now you're like flipping it on me because now it's
no.
It's so easy to get laid, but actually people are hooking up on those sites just to hang out for companionship.
Well, actually, I mean, it is so easy to get laid. Oh yeah,
hetero or homo. Then if or anything, it's all dick appointments.
Well, then if that's the case, wouldn't it be triple easy to scale that back to just meeting?
I think if you could think about what it might be to be chronically shy, to be chronically unaware of. I mean, if you think that you can't afford dating sites, that maybe this fool is like a little ways behind here.
Yeah.
And then to be openly gay, but maybe not in a place where there's a very strong community.
Maybe there's no place.
But it seems to me that maybe he needs to just be hipped to like the world a little bit more and be like, no, there's like ways to do this.
Yeah. Or
like there's alternative paths.
There's a Facebook group that
there's an ass for every seat.
Yeah, there's every Thursday at 7 down the street. There's a meet and greet for
like a mixer.
An LGBT.
Bring your own like
mixer.
potluck mixer. Exactly.
Like you didn't know that exists. It's down the street.
If you want, church gays, they're there to be
rodeo gays. Is that a thing?
Rodeo gays, they're all gay. All rodeo
church gays. So maybe we just have a young man who's
just maybe needs to get put up on game a little bit.
Just needs to be put up on game.
Emphasis on the gay in AIM.
And I mean sites.
Gay game.
Go to these sites.
Yeah, the sites.
Enjoy your sites.
Yeah, because the sites do allow you to have a lot of communication without having to. You don't have to commit to. They can't. You can just go to a non-hookup site and actually get into, if that's what's happening. But if it's just, you could just be dealing with somebody who's just inexperienced and shy.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking through a prism of
L.A.
If you were in a major
or
city
whatever,
Denver and like
Seattle, anywhere, like any major city at like a liberal arts college in a major metropolitan area. I mean, you would be fine, but like you're saying, maybe that's the assumption that this person has the wherewithal and the outgoing confidence, and already self-admittedly is maybe a bit of a hermit, a bit of a shut-in. Concerned that other homosexuals wouldn't have the same likes, which means that like maybe, doesn't like to, I don't know, listens to a lot of Common, maybe,
Okay.
Gamer. Maybe a little bit of an indoor gamer.
Young guy's gonna find his way, I think, with our help, of course.
I mean, God willing, he listens to this show.
Dear Amy, my husband has poor hygiene habits. He brushes his teeth only at the end of the day, and he showers once a week, even though he exercises daily.
Ooh.
Often, both his breath and body odor are unpleasant.
Ooh.
I've been upfront with him on countless occasions, gently explaining both the health benefits as well as the social problem when he's in public. However, if he can't smell the odors, he doesn't believe they exist. He thinks the problem's in my head. This is fine. Nose-plugged wife.
I mean, file for divorce. It's not about you.
That's it.
It ain't about you.
You just solved it right there. Miss, 3 words for you. File for divorce. You can put that. I think that's on. It's definitely on there.
Fucking
like infidelity.
Motherfucker stinks.
Homie hates showering. Check
Gross
the box.
ass motherfucker hates to be clean.
Hates Crest. Hates it. Check it.
Okay. Brushing your teeth only once a day at night.
You're fine with
Not
that.
acceptable, but acceptable. Showering once a week and not doing anything, unacceptable. Showering once a week and being physically active in those days in between, criminal.
CrossFit
Like,
twice a day.
call the cops. Like, take this person away. Stick them in like a camp, like a scared straight for. Make him smell someone else that does that isn't like within his like pheromone fucking spectrum. Like, stick him in a fucking cell with like
he needs a
dog. This is what you are to me.
This is what you do to me.
This is what you do to me.
Husband.
Here,
take it.
Smell that.
Get in this pod.
Live with that guy for a week.
Live with this pod. Okay.
It ain't about you. It's one of those things that you really have to rely on others for. And that's why it's not cool to not tell people when their breath stinks and shit, because nobody wants to have stinky breath, like, for the most part, unless they're like a fucking degenerate fuck, like an art school, like Trustafarian, like bitch kid, like those kids that do it like on purpose.
I think they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, like they walk in and they like stink and have it's like greasy. They have that like
a sheen of
oily hair that's like it's gone rancid, where it smells like vomit. And they don't wear deodorant, and it's like white boy shit. It's like it's all white privilege shit, in my opinion. It's like a weird rebellion against like societal conditioning, but like nobody has the luxury of doing that unless you've like lived a sheltered life and have like been allowed to like go to an art school and like be clothing optional and shit. It's like it's really not cool. It's fine if you want to do it when you're 14 and like go through that process.
We rolled up to Cal Arts, there could be some trouble.
You would literally want to fucking punch certain dudes in the neck.
It could get into trouble.
I mean, women do it too. I deal with it at the shop quite a bit, and these are, you know, I don't know how to say it, like
musicians,
just
man.
fucking deadbeat, fucking gross, druggy, fucking fuck ups. You know, they're just like, but not like. Not cool. Not cool. You know, not stinky, like gross. Like, oh, you just like woke up and you wear the same shit that you like fell asleep in, and like you just go about your fucking gross life, and like everything fucking stinks, and like you stink.
We got to deal with it.
And like you impose that on the world because you think that you somehow have a right to do that. And like you do, but like it makes you a fucking piece of shit.
You see these people
every fucking day.
Oh my God.
Every day. People who, when they leave the store, they're the stench,
they look back
the
at you,
weight of their smell stays in the store.
Gives you a little wink on the way out.
Stays with you when they're long gone. It's like guys who douse themselves in bad cologne.
Call the store when you pick up, say Future, they say, you're welcome.
But, sorry, I digress.
Yes. No, please.
But like, and this is coming from somebody who, I'm a, you know.
You're a free spirit.
I'm a strong smelling man.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't come away unscathed in this game. You know,
potent, strong odors.
I can get some fucking BO going. I can get bad breath going. I've got a lot of hair. I've got fucking. You know, I can get fucking. I can be guilty of all of this. But if somebody that I'm close to, physically, emotionally, in any way, is like, yo, you got BO. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'll go home and take a fucking shower. Like if I've got caught slipping, it's not that you don't like. I mean, you don't, but I'm not like that. There's regular people that in their life, they can be like, I mean, sometimes I can be showered and totally clean. If I leave the house without deodorant, by the end of a work day, my fucking pits stink. So it's like something I have to know about myself to know, like, hey, like, you're either going to have to put an overshirt on by mid-afternoon, or you're going to have to get home at some point and put deodorant on, or run to the CVS and grab a deodorant and throw it in the whip.
That's why you keep those shawls on the ready.
That's why you always see me in those
wraps. Why does he always have those wraps? I love them.
But it's like things you need to know and learn about yourself. If your fucking wife is telling you that your shit stinks, you stink. She's not being a fucking bitch. She's looking out for you because she's embarrassed for herself and for you to go out in the world and share that with other people. She can probably tolerate it because you've inundated her with it for the fucking past 10 years of your fucking life. She has to fucking sleep next to you. So in some way, she's come accustomed to it. But even she knows it's sick. So imagine somebody who's completely uninitiated coming into contact with that, who doesn't know you well enough to be like, what's up? Like... And also, like, why do you want to be like that? Stop it. It's so gross.
It'd be awesome if that was all written out as a response. And that's my response.
Tune in next week.
My husband and I are at a crossroads, Jonathan. I learned several years ago that he had been smoking marijuana daily for nearly the whole of our 25-year marriage. I always knew he used pot, but I had no idea of the extent. He finally said he wanted to be able to smoke freely. I agreed to this, then I was shocked. He smoked in the morning. He smoked at night. He smoked on walks, on the porch, after dinner, and on dates. It began to make me feel as though he needed to be high to get through our life together.
He did. He has been. He's fucking shit, man.
What make you think that now? That's been a quarter century.
He's been doing this the whole time.
Medicated. On the
Fully
reg.
Fully medicated.
Morning, noon, and night. Out of the blue one day, he told me that he wanted to quit. I was thrilled, but then he struggled mightily. He finally did quit for 10 months. Now he started smoking again. He says he won't smoke as much, but that he can't make any promises. I do not want to go back to the way things were, and I've made that clear. He says that he's an adult who can make his own decisions. Should I give it time, or should I make my own decision? So,
what decision?
I'm not sure. I guess she's filing for divorce. So he was high every day for 25 years.
Then came out
and was like, "Hey, by the way,
I'm a chronic weed smoker."
You know how you
something
think
about coming out and being all of a sudden within a short period of time, his transparency got to him and he wanted to quit. So maybe being out on display wasn't as freeing as he anticipated
initially.
And then he started becoming more self-conscious about it. So he has attempted to quit. He quit for 10 months.
But those were a miserable 10 months.
And also, he probably didn't do 10 months. He was probably
6 months.
He just went back to doing it in the garage.
Totally.
But nonetheless, he wants to scale it back.
He wants to, but
you don't know this person not smoking weed every day of your life.
All
what she needs to understand is just when he came out to you about it was just him coming out to you about it. The person you've been dealing with the whole time is the person that you're dealing with now.
Okay.
He's been smoking weed like this the whole time.
So much weed.
So you don't know who this person is outside of
this is who
chronically
he is.
smoking pot.
The man you know is the man you married?
Yeah. You've been married to a pothead.
You're married to a pothead.
A doper.
Chong, a doper.
But what? You just have to. What do you mean? Yeah, you can't. You probably are. It is too late to probably stop him.
Oh,
you could just put down some rules to be like, one, you don't get to fucking smoke weed on date night, or get to smoke weed on the way to our dates. Like you decide the times when it bugs you the most, and say you can't do it then. And if you do it at other times, or just fucking divorce him.
Every single one. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you two things. Fuck Jesus and divorce him.
Divorce him.
I mean, that sounds.
I mean, honest to God,
it sounds.
Can you deal with it, or can you not deal with it?
Your husband is
now that you know that you're fucking doper husband has been fucking hiding from you for 25 years. Do you want him to live out loud and in the open in front of you?
Yes.
And are you okay with that? Or
can he be
are
himself?
you over it?
Are you done? Are you getting divorced?
Because that's it. There's no going back to, I would like you to go back and hide this from me now. I liked it better when you hid this from me forever.
It goes infidelity, check the box. It goes stank hygiene, check the box. It goes a doper, check the box.
I'm just saying.
What's your life?
You don't get to go back.
It's 25 years. This is your life. You didn't realize it, but
now you can't. Now you do.
So what do you want to do?
So what are you going to do now?
If he ain't high, he's miserable. You've seen that right in the last
Right. So do
10
you
months?
want your husband, do you want to be like, cool, we're going to figure this out? Or are you going to be like, ew, gross. Like, why did you do this for so long and not tell me? I don't feel like I know who you are anymore.
I don't know you.
I'm out.
Because sober, it's not this. You're not the same you.
It's tough, man. I mean, I think about, it's hard to quantify, to compute how different you are.
Oh, on substances?
On substances versus not on substances. And
it's like entirely different.
I would say with pot, with herb, it's like it can be more subtle than with other things in some cases. That there are some people I know who are like pretty big potheads, but like their weed smoking lifestyle and their non-weed smoking lifestyle aren't
pretty similar,
hugely different. That their personalities aren't hugely different.
I know some people like that.
I am like deeply affected by it on a brain chemistry level.
No doubt.
I feel different. I think differently.
Dress differently. Speak differently. Walk differently.
That's not true.
It's true.
No, that's not the pot.
No,
that's the ketamine and the DMT and all the booze. I would say that it does sort of make me maybe a little... I would think that my brain maybe is just not quite totally sound to begin with, and that maybe induces a little bit more of like a psychosis and paranoia that you know, that
which
can
is to be expected. It
can cause it can cause some manicness in my life that maybe isn't present when I'm not doing it. But there's plenty of people. But I mean, that's what she has to come to terms with. Is, do you know who this person is? Do you understand who this person is? And do you want to spend the time, now that you understand this about this person,
25 years,
getting down to the bottom of trying to separate what of your life has been basically
high Bob and sober Bob, or
just Bob avoiding telling you this hugely present thing in his life.
Hit it daily.
How much of life has been, how much of your daily existence has been him essentially lying to you in order to create the space necessary for him to smoke.
He had to make a phone call at your daughter's high school graduation, and he went into the bleachers.
Which is a shitty thing to think about.
Yeah.
Because it
every time he
diminishes
stepped away,
the daily quality of life, knowing that these petty lies had to occur.
Oh, I got to run. We need milk.
And then
we do? Yeah, we do. I'll be right back.
So second nature.
Yeah.
That it obviously decreases the
stability of the marriage.
Yeah, or also like if it becomes so easy to lie to me in this instance, it just also becomes maybe easy to lie to me in general. You know, about little things.
Yep.
And that in a marriage, when you're trying to avoid those bumps and those setbacks that you inevitably suffer, if you introduce the idea that not major lies, but just enough to manipulate the situation to keep you out of hot water, if you say to yourself, you start doing that and you get away with it, and then you just start it, that becomes an operating mode. If that becomes an option, a continual option, I think you might be in a slightly dangerous situation, because you're creating a false reality. You're altering the scenery just enough to where you're not both looking at the same picture, and you're doing that for the sake of getting along, for the sake of ease of daily existence. But I think collectively that starts to really mutate the kind of the setting that one would, I think, ideally be in with your partner, you know, because it's just gotten all wavy, you know.
And then he discovered dabbing, which he didn't do because he'd been smoking for 25 years, and then it's both.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah, so now it's like he's
on that marijuana.
He can't go back.
That one hitter quitter.
Can't go back. He didn't know.
She could start smoking weed with him.
I think she has to divorce him.
I think divorcing him is probably easier than becoming a pothead with him.
You don't want to start that.
Because that's just a weird codependent
thing look at us now.
Look at us now. We're just a bunch of
couple
of old
together,
fucking dispensary, like eating edibles like a bunch of fucking losers.
Watching Wheel of Fortune.
Fucking Rick and Morty over again.
Look at this.
How did I turn into this?
Let me go with... Is you said no one? Let's do one more here. My roommate and friend, Rand, recently decided to take a break from his girlfriend of 3 years. He's been seeing other people.
I knew a Rand.
Yeah? Rand.
R-A-N-D?
Yep.
Yeah, I've known a Rand.
Okay.
I wonder if this is him.
I would guarantee it is. He's been seeing other people and has had casual sex with a few women in the short time since his breakup. He asked me if I or my girlfriend had any friends who we could set him up with, and my girlfriend jumped at the idea to set him up with one of her friends. The pair hit it off. They've slept together and have since been making plans to hang out in the future. But he wants only a short fling. He sees himself getting back together with his longtime girlfriend and is going to be moving to Boston for a new job in about 2 months. However, he did make it clear he wants to see my girlfriend's friend often before he goes, most likely for sex. Although she understood he was just on a break with his girlfriend, she believes there may be a deeper connection with the two of them. My girlfriend and I feel responsible for this because we set them up. We feel guilty that we didn't fully disclose the extent of his promiscuity. We are thinking of telling her, but are not sure what to say. We would like to preserve our friendship with her. What do we do?
Tell her. Just be like, he was like fucking like a...
You know,
broke up with his chick. He's been fucking a lot of girls. He's moving. He thinks he's probably going to get back together with his girl. He may feel strongly about you, but like you need to know, like, you're our friend. Like, it's very possible that he just wants to bang.
Yeah,
like,
you know that? Oh, let's watch True Detective. That's it. Over.
Done.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you, bitch.
Let's get high. Yeah, adult bitch. Sorry.
Hey, adult bitch, it's your problem now.
Yeah, I'm going to watch True Detective. You going to watch? Yeah. Gotta be more. There needs to be more sort of just
transparency. And that doesn't mean telling tales out of school. That doesn't mean getting in other fucking people's business. Bitch, it ain't your business what they do, who they do, how they fucking do it. But if you are the person responsible for being like, hey, this person is cool, this person is cool, let's put you together, you have the right to be like, hey, listen,
Rand has been
or
going
just
ham.
Fucking tell him to tell her. If you feel weird about it, then be like, hey, by the way, like, I'm gonna have to have a conversation with her because I know your situation, and I know that your situation is this, and I'm not sure if she does. So either you have to tell her or I have to tell her, because I need to know that I've cleaned my side of the street. Yeah. And as a friend to her, I wouldn't be doing my part if I allowed this to transpire. It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard.
It's really
if your moral barometer is I mean, it's not about what you would do or what's okay in society's eyes or anything like that. It's just about like your part, their part, like it you know, and there's a line. I mean, there's a fucking line where like you are meddling or you're not meddling. Like, are you meddling in somebody's business because your fucking life is not interesting enough to you right now, that you're preoccupied with somebody else's? Because that happens to us all the fucking time, sometimes for years on end. Like, or are you like just actively pursuing working to foster the relationships in your life and keep those relationships thriving and healthy and going? Or are you like fucking fiddle faddling, you know, because you're fucking bored?
I gotta go one more because this is fire. This is fire. Jonathan, my ex and I have been separated for a year. We've been divorced for 3 months. My boyfriend and I have been...
Say that again, I'm sorry.
My ex and I, we've been separated for a year.
Divorced for 3 months.
Divorced for 3 months.
Doesn't say how long we were together for.
No, my boyfriend and I have been together for almost a year.
No, but how long they were together for? The married couple.
Separated for a year. So she just jumped right in. I guess. Okay. My 7-year-old daughter asked if she could call him daddy. I told her no. I explained that she has one mom and one dad, and that when we get remarried one day, she'll have a bonus mom and dad. So when we get remarried one day. Yeah. Oh, does that make sense?
When she marries the boyfriend,
she'll have a bonus dad. Bonus
when
dad,
your dad
bonus mom. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, last night she informed me that her daddy doesn't care what she calls his girlfriend. They've been together for 6 months. So she's going to call her mom.
Oh, boy. Oh.
My ex says he sees nothing wrong with this.
Really?
My daughter also informed me that her daddy and his girlfriend take baths together.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh.
What they do at their house is their business, but I think this is inappropriate for our children. We also have a 3-year-old to be exposed to it. Jonathan, what do you think? I come from a broken home where men went through a revolving door, and I called all of them dad. I don't want my kids to grow up like that.
This is fucked up. First of all,
close the door here.
Dad. First of all, the baths with the girlfriend. I mean, I think
that's
we
out.
Can just be like that. We're just out on that.
Yeah, no baths unless they're at mom's.
This is from a. I mean, listen, I bathe.
This guy loves to bathe.
I love to bathe.
Tub bathes
with
outside.
My parents, without my parents.
Don't matter.
Yeah. I've showered with my father. I've never showered with my mother. Just to be clear.
Hey, there's time.
But listen, there's still time. Still time.
Come on.
The day is long. No, I'm just saying, girlfriend.
That's okay. No baths.
So that's a no baths.
No bubble baths.
Your father, it's not your father's decision whether or not it's okay for you to call his girlfriend mommy.
Who say that? I don't.
It's not his decision. I don't think.
It's okay.
He's saying the daughter's coming saying, is it okay?
I'm gonna call her mom.
And of course, what the girlfriend's like, oh my god, so cute.
God, we look alike, more like than your other mommy, your real mommy.
I hate your real mommy.
Oh, she is kind of a bitch, right? You would say that. Don't say I said that, but you would say that, right? I am nicer. You will say that. You like candy? I give it to you. You will say that. Bedtime?
I would have gotten on him.
Bedtime, who gives a fuck over here?
Gotten on the horn.
You would have gotten in the whip, driven over there. Gotten right up in her face.
Be like, first of all,
bitch.
Excuse me.
I'm getting stop saying that.
No, it's fine. I think it's fine.
No. Hell no.
But then, in order to establish yourself that way, as the biological mother, you're causing a.
Oh, it's so.
You're driving
crazy.
some sort of a weird wedge, where you're vying for this attention from your child, and saying. You're giving that power and giving that child the power to deprive you of that by making it clear that that's important to you. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry.
Like, I want to call this woman mommy, and you're like, I will throw you out the fucking window. Like, you came out of my vagina. You don't get to call anyone else mommy. But like me. causing that kind of attention around something like that.
Her name's Danielle. That's what you'll call her.
Yeah, but like giving it power in a way that a child will be aware of.
Oh, it's almost like I can't have it. Like, ooh, okay.
And that you give the child the power to
Mama.
Use that as a weapon against you.
Okay. Oh, okay. Mommy. I'm sorry. I mean Danielle lets me eat ice cream after 10.
Better mommy.
Oh my God. Better mommy dresses like so sexy.
I mean Danielle.
I mean Todd. I mean damn Danielle. Damn it. I'm sorry. That's so crazy. Once all of that must be so many people that deal with that sort of like divorced with kids and then other relationships. That is so hairball. The idea of that. You think about the jealousy that I've felt in my life about significant others becoming romantic with another person, and despite any desire for that person to be happy and all that stuff, that there's still this visceral and then you think about that, if you thought that something that your child, when it wasn't in your care, that somebody was actively taking that. I mean, you could fucking kill somebody. You could go over there and be like, Danielle, get out here.
Come outside with me. I'm about to drag you behind my fucking car for the next hour. Like, I will fucking kill you. Like, if you try to brainwash this fucking child, my child, I will kill you. And and then feel completely justified in doing that. Like, be like, I don't have any regrets. I'll kill you. I'd rather kill you than see that happen and allow it.
Have my daughter call you mommy.
I'd rather kill you. I'd rather rot in jail.
Why are you just wearing a bikini? Why do you just have a bikini on?
Why are you always in every
Danielle,
time I come over here to yell at you?
February, you're wearing a bikini in the house. What the fuck?
Why is there a hot tub in the living room?
When did you guys get a gym? When did you get a hot tub?
I do know what she was talking about in a broken household, revolving household. People that I know that grew up in situations like that where there were multiple men
lovers
or women coming through, that it was very confusing. And you do have people who don't realize the impact that it's having on a child. They think they're providing comfort for that child because that
somebody
child
for 9 months.
Once that child
totally.
if you want to call me mommy, of course you call me mommy.
Yeah.
I'm
an adult. I
want to do what I want to make you happy. But it's like, it's that you don't.
Mental.
It's mental.
He don't care. Oh yeah, call her mom. In the bathtub, like fucking naked. Yeah, call her mom. Jim. Yeah. Oh, this roach, man. This is crazy.
Flicking it about.
Doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, it's tricks and treats. It's so difficult.
I'll cut a bitch.
Oh, I mean,
I don't know.
Oh, you can go there.
I mean, really, like, if I was like, what do you mean, like, you're calling him daddy? Like, what do you mean that you called him dad? Like he ain't your fucking father. And, like, I would light the kid up. I would light the new dad up.
He's like,
the ex up. Everybody could get round up, like, put in the back of a truck.
Dad, we go skateboarding together.
He skates way better than
Dad,
you, Dad.
He skates so coolly. You would be like, what does he do? Well, if he's not surfing, he's skating.
Coolly.
So coolly. What do you do, Dad? I don't know how fucking people do it. It is insanity.
Oh man,
it's insanity.
Wild.
Oh well, he said fuck the Cowboys, Dad. He said that they're the cowgirls. My son comes home fully dressed, like Green Bay gear, like head to toe.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is cool. Dak Prescott's a punk, Dad. Son,
get out of here.
Son, come here.
Come outside.
Come outside. We're driving to Dwayne's right now. You and I and Dwayne are having a conversation.
It's
very difficult to live life.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
And also, and like having boundaries. And knowing what boundaries those are and why those boundaries are there, why you have those, you know.
I hope somebody calls it like in this situation and explains how gosh darn difficult it is to like have custody or in just how do you deal with that.
I can't imagine.
Because everyone that divorces is banging somebody else.
But that's the other thing is that the alternative is that one parent vamooses and that you're stuck with, you're stuck with just one. We lose a camera yet?
But yeah, it would be.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So in a situation where both parents are still actively involved, then inevitably you're going to deal with these other people, and these other people are going to have a huge effect on these children's
lives. And those people
lives.
have their own fucking. Oh, I love going to Dwayne's.
I never wanted to have a kid, but now that I had one and I have one, and I didn't have to actually have it, like I'm happy to let it call me mom because
he loves
me. I missed all the bullshit. I just get to spoil him rotten. He tells me how fucking great I am.
Loves me. We shoot hoops. Yeah, you got to hear about. Oh, we went to like Dwayne's parents, and we went to their Christmas party.
They have a huge pool.
Their pool, Dad, is so much.
He said I could come in there anytime.
Dad,
like, why am I in this shitty apartment with you?
They had Ben and Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs.
I don't want to listen to this record anymore.
They were laughing at you, talking about fucking your froyo. They laughed in your. Everyone was laughing at you, Dad.
They make their own ice cream.
Oh, Dad, they bake butter churn their own ice cream, and they laugh at you. Dwayne and all of his brothers, Uncle Billy, Uncle Dave. What do you call them? Well, all my uncles. Dwayne's bros, my uncles. I can't. Oh, God, we took the cigarette boat out. They let me drive it. I went 88 miles an hour, Dad. Remember when I asked you to drive in that parking lot and you wouldn't let me do it? They let me take the cigarette boat out by myself and smoke cigarettes, Dad. Dwayne says you ain't shit. Is that true?
Hey, Dad.
Dad, Dwayne lifts weights.
Dad says you ain't shit.
Dwayne lifts weights and says you ain't shit, Dad. Is that true?
That true?
Oh yeah, dude.
Dwayne.
America through the eyes of two Americans. This was episode 696. It was a special episode of questions and answers and conversation. So if anything here that we touched upon, if you have any insight, please call
Insider,
the voicemail 888-842-2357 if you've experienced this in your own life in any way and you can shed some light on the situation. Keep this conversation going that we started in February of 2006 as we come up on 13 years. Not possible unless without your support. So thank you so much for listening. Please come back for 697. And you want to?
Yeah, go to patreon.com and pledge to the show if you can. $1, $3, $5 or more. We film the shows in 3 camera and put those up on our Patreon. So if you'd like access to those or access to the archives, please consider becoming a pledging listener. We are advertising free and commercial free and listener supported. We have a merch store on our website, UhhYeahDude.com. The merch store has TV televisions.
We're selling 88-inch 8K.
Put in the discount code. No, we have
T-shirts
and stickers.
The TVs are only $10,000 if you put in the promo code.
Yeah, I think it's about $10,000. But yeah, we got cool pins and shit, and it's a good way to support the show. Yeah, and
come tell a friend. Write a review on iTunes. Tell a friend to come listen. 697. Jonathan.
Yeah.
My 31-year-old son is gay. His father and I love him unconditionally. My mother is in her 80s. I told her about my son's sexuality many years ago. Since then, we've avoided the topic. My son was visiting us about a year ago when we invited my mother over for dinner. She began to rant about a gay pride event in our city, drawing an unseemly, lawless crowd. My son respectfully debated her points. She said gay people shouldn't be allowed to be open about their sexuality, and they deserved any bad things that happened to them by being out. My husband became agitated, asked her to change the topic. I agreed and told her that she was being disrespectful. She stubbornly refused to change the subject, so my husband drove her home and we didn't finish dinner. After she left, my son said he was done with her and didn't want to see her ever again. This broke my heart. My son won't consider making amends with his grandmother. I've tried several times to get my mother to apologize to him. She says she's entitled to her own opinions. I worry about my mother passing away with this conflict between them. Should I leave it alone?
Leave it alone.
You say leave it alone.
Tell it it's on them.
It's on grandma.
It's on both of them.
It's on grandma and grandson.
That's it. It's your guys' problem.
It's got nothing to do with her?
No,
or
it
the
does
husband?
have to do with her. It's her fucking son and it's her mother. It's killing her. It sucks.
It's a nightmare.
But it's both of them have to realize. The son has to realize, you know what? She's fucked up and she's got some fucked up opinions. She is your grandmother and she is going to probably die before you do. And at that point, that'll be it. So are you willing to part ways with this woman and never see her again? Are you cool with that? And then same thing goes for mom. Yes, you are entitled to your own opinions, but he's your grandson and you're going to fucking die and having never resolved this and never seeing him again. Are you okay with that? And if you guys are okay with that, then I can't get involved. I have to let this go. But both of them need to really understand that that decision is something that is very clearly out in the open, that they are openly saying this, not just stubbornly being petulant about their positions on things. You know, both are adults, both are gonna have to, you know, be like, is that what we're dealing with here? Because if so, fine. If that's the severity of if that's how polarizing this situation is, then I have to take my personal feelings out of it, which is that I hate the idea of my mother and my son not being close to each other. Because that's a hard thing to stomach, but unfortunately, this is, you know, it's not. You know, what can you do? You can threaten one and side with the other, or stay neutral, or beg them to get along. And I mean, it's really, at the end of the day, the two of them are gonna have to sort it out, or not.
Man,
it sucks, dude. But it's like, yeah, it's like your son's gay and your fucking mom offended the fuck out of him. It's his grandmother. If he wants to be like, fuck you, grandma, you're gonna die, and I'm never gonna come and hang out with you. Fine. And same with the fucking grandma. Grandma's like, he's a fucking gross gay. He's going to burn in hell. He deserves what happens to him. I don't want him at my fucking deathbed because he's a homo. Then, like, y'all got fucking... That's what's up. But they both need to be like... You need to be aware of You need to be aware of that this is a conscious decision that you are making. That you have decided individually as people that neither of you are going to pursue mending this relationship. It's crazy, but it's, if it's not important to them, it doesn't get to be important to you. If you're not, you're not the person. You're not the person with the conflict. You're a person that's conflicted by by seeing the conflict transpire, that's hurt by watching that conflict play out.
I do. Gave a lot of sound advice on this episode. Think in general, it's very direct. The idea is that
that's not, you know what I mean. It's easy for me to try to do that here within a conversation because it's funny it seems to make sense. Maybe a bit brutal. And if you were to apply that truly to a situation, there is too much dilly-dallying and tiptoeing around in these other situations that are just it doesn't help anything. It doesn't help anything. Very
direct, transparent, open. You got to talk. You got to be. This is the deal. You got to be on the same page. You got to communicate.
Try not to maybe waste time. It's a thing that I think people, because they are so...
People are sensitive, and people in a good way.
I think more than anything, it's not really that, because we can be incredibly insensitive and all that stuff. We're mostly just afraid of what is on the other side of any issue. That somehow we're much more comfortable
in terms of
wrestling with the conflict than addressing the conflict and making a decision as to what to do about it.
Okay.
That we're the stasis is a much easier place.
Being afraid of the outcome of just, instead of just getting there and
much easier place.
Dealing with the
not easy ultimately, because it's collectively mind numbing and soul numbing. But like, I don't want to really know what this means, because it's probably a deal breaker or a game changer.
Wildly uncomfortable.
And so to really talk about this and really address it,
what you're saying
is to get through the other side of it, which means that we're going to all have to make adjustments.
We all got to fight through it, get to the other side, and then we'll 100%. Deal with
and it'll all be fine.
The chips will fall where they may.
There'll be something else.
It all comes out in the wash.
It'll all get eclipsed by something else that has to get sorted out. So don't even worry about it. But sitting with it forever,
just take it head on.
I mean, it's
done.
That's my personal experience.
Done.
Because I have spent so much time waiting things out, and in the end, what I thought needed to happen in the beginning was ultimately
waited them out in terms of, just
being afraid.
Okay.
Of maybe something I felt about someone else, or something I knew inside of myself, or just openly saying, is it me, or is this happening in this relationship? A relationship can only happen between two people.
Okay.
There are no group relationships.
What about polyamory?
That's still multiple, individual, one-on-one relationships.
Okay.
Polyamory is still a relationship between two people. And I'm saying, and it's multiple examples of those huddled together.
Okay.
But there is, there's just because a band's a band doesn't mean that each individual in the band doesn't have an individual relationship with every other person in that band.
Okay.
So you're really only talking about issues between two people, and then how those relationships between two people affect other people. But the primary conduit is, it's going to always come down to two individuals. And I think like I said, I mean, it's hard to change. So whether you're the aggressor or on the receiving end of that or something, there's always this idea of that if you are to address something and truly change something about the situation because it's not right, it requires everyone involved to ultimately change and adjust afterwards. And no matter what, nobody likes to do anything because we're all lazy as fuck when it comes to that stuff. So just being like, oh, grandma doesn't come over anymore when somebody's over. Like, nobody wants to just openly be like, this is an active issue that now we all work around. We'd rather just kind of wait for it to blow over and act as though it's not an actual.
In your own life, in your experience, there's been times when you were just waiting things out. Is that was just out of like fear. So you just fear of. And when you say waiting things out, you're just waiting for something
personal, like doing drugs and knowing, like doing drugs and looking at myself, being like, you can't do this much longer. So why don't you stop now? What's the difference between staving this off until 6 months from now when you have to stop? Why don't you just stop now? And what is it that's stopping you from doing that when you know that it ultimately has to happen? Yeah. And that is fear. I mean, there's no other word for it. It's the unwillingness or the incapacity, that maybe you instinctually know, I don't have that in me to give right now. So I'm going to ride this out until that space is there. But most of the time, I think it's just, I know what to expect like this. It sucks, but I can anticipate it. And us being able to anticipate something is much more comfortable for us than being like, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen,
Yeah.
Even though we don't ultimately, the perception that we can, the devil is somehow more tolerable than the great unknown or whatever,
Seatbelts.
Seatbelts.